When does organizational depth stop being a competitive advantage and start being a tragedy? And what does it say about the ruthless calculus of championship baseball that Ryan Ward, a man who just dominated AAA with 36 home runs and 122 RBIs, is now expendable simply because the front office decided to spend $240 million on someone else? Good afternoon, Dodger Nation. It's Friday, January 24th, 2026, and while everyone's celebrating the Kyle Tucker signing, while the fan base is dreaming about a three-peat, there's a quieter story unfolding in the background. A story about a man who did everything right, who performed at the highest level available to him, and who's now being traded away because the organization decided to buy someone better. We're talking about Ryan Ward, the AAA MVP, the forgotten casualty of the Dodgers' relentless pursuit of perfection. Let me set the stage, because context is absolutely critical here. According to Valentina Martinez, citing work from Fabian Ardai at The Athletic, the Los Angeles Dodgers attempted to actively trade Ryan Ward immediately after the ink dried on Kyle Tucker's contract. And if you don't follow the Oklahoma City Dodgers closely, if you're not tracking our minor league system, you might not understand just how significant this is. But let me tell you, Ryan Ward is not some 19-year-old kid learning how to play professional baseball. He's 28 years old. He's a man in his prime. And last season, he was absolutely dominant. The numbers are staggering. Ward led the Pacific Coast League with 36 home runs. He drove in 122 runs. He accumulated 315 total bases. He did absolutely everything the organization asked him. He proved that AAA had become too small for him. He was ready. He was hungry. And he was waiting for his shot at the majors. In November, the Dodgers added him to the 40-man roster. That was a sign of respect. That was a protective measure to ensure he wouldn't leave as a free agent. And Ward himself said in an interview, "I didn't know if I'd be added or if I'd become a free agent. Everything was answered with a phone call." It seemed like his moment had finally arrived. It seemed like 2026 was going to be his year. He was going to get his chance to prove himself in the majors. He was going to get his opportunity to contribute to a championship team. But then Kyle Tucker signed his $240 million contract. And the mathematics became cruel. With Kyle Tucker in right field, with Mookie Betts potentially moving back to the infield or right field, with Shohei Ohtani as a DH, and with the renewal of Teoscar Hernandez in left field, where does Ryan Ward play? The answer is, he doesn't. There's no spot for him. There's no role. There's no path to playing time. He's blocked by a wall of all-stars, by a roster so loaded with talent that even a AAA MVP can't find a place. And here's the brutal reality. Ward is 28 years old. Kyle Tucker is 29. They're contemporaries. This isn't a situation where Ward can wait his turn, where he can be patient and hope that eventually an opportunity opens up. His turn was purchased for $240 million. His window of opportunity just closed. Andrew Friedman, being the pragmatic genius that he is, understands this completely. He knows that keeping Ryan Ward in Oklahoma City, hitting 30 more home runs, doesn't help the major league team. It doesn't contribute to the three-peat. It doesn't move the needle. And it occupies a precious spot on the 40-man roster that could be used for a pitcher, for a defensive upgrade, for a trade piece. So the conversations began immediately. Friedman tried to see if he could extract some value, maybe a prospect pitcher, maybe some young talent, from a player who's productive but who's blocked by a wall of superstars. This is a curse of depth. Ryan Ward would be a starter tomorrow for the Miami Marlins. He'd be an everyday player for the Colorado Rockies. He'd be a cornerstone for the Oakland Athletics. He's got the power. He's got the swing. He's got the ability to impact games. But in Los Angeles, he's just another guy. He's surplus to requirements. He's the collateral damage of organizational excellence. The report says that trade conversations were explored. That means for now he's still a Dodger. But the situation is unsustainable long term. Ward needs to play in the majors to build his career, to establish his legacy, to secure his financial future. The Dodgers need his roster spot for pitching depth or deadline reinforcements. It's a mismatch that can only be resolved one way. Ward gets traded. And here's what makes this story so poignant. Ward did nothing wrong. He didn't underperform. He didn't disappoint. He exceeded every expectation. He dominated AAA. He earned his 40-man roster spot. He earned the right to be considered for the majors. But the organization's decision to spend $240 million on Kyle Tucker made his situation untenable. Through no fault of his own, through no failure on his part, Ryan Ward became expendable. This is the human cost of building a super team. This is what happens when an organization decides that winning is the only acceptable outcome and is willing to spend whatever it takes to achieve it. You get a roster so loaded with talent that even your best minor league players can't find a spot. You get situations where a man who did everything right gets pushed out because someone else was willing to pay more. And I want to take a moment to recognize Ryan Ward, not as a footnote in the Kyle Tucker story, not as a casualty of the Dodgers spending spree, but as a professional who worked his tail off, who performed at the highest level available to him, and who's now being told that his performance wasn't enough because the organization decided to buy someone better. That's the reality of professional sports. That's the harsh truth of championship baseball. Ward will likely be traded to a team where he can play every day. He'll probably flourish somewhere else. He'll probably have a solid major league career. And maybe, just maybe, he'll get his revenge against the Dodgers in a future playoff series. But today, on January 24th, 2026, Ryan Ward is a reminder that organizational depth has a human cost. That not everyone gets to be part of the celebration. That sometimes doing everything right still isn't enough. So while we celebrate the Dodgers' pursuit of a three-peat, while we marvel at the roster they've assembled, let's take a moment to acknowledge the Ryan Wards of the world, the players who worked hard, who performed well, and who got pushed out because the organization decided to buy someone better. That's the price of excellence. That's the cost of super team. If this breakdown gave you a different perspective on the Kyle Tucker signing, do me a favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment below. What do you think about the Dodgers' decision to trade away Ryan Ward? Is it the right move, or should they have found a way to keep him? Let me know what you think, because this is a kind of difficult decision that defines championship organizations, and I want to hear from every single one of you. Let's go, Dodgers.